Could very well be, Hazel. Good evening, everybody. Wonderful atmosphere, wonderful venue, and two truly wonderful players. And what a session that was this afternoon, Ken.
Yeah, fantastic
Thank you.
session.
The ninth frame.
And what an atmosphere
Ronnie
for both
OSullivan
players as they enter this wonderful Barbican Hall here in York. Fantastic crowd. I think this could go all the way, John.
Yep. Again, it's 4-4. 4-2, it was looking a little precarious for Shaun, but well, he dug in deep, and that last frame was absolutely fabulous to pinch. Pot success, you can see 94% each, which is very high. One pot success was surprising, you would think. I mean, okay, Ronnie's brilliant at the long game, but the way Shaun's been knocking him in this week, you thought there'd have been not much between them. There certainly isn't in the safety. Big shot to take on. First shot of the evening, but he'll be happy with it.
Yeah, nice kiss. Kept the red and the cue ball safe. I don't know about you, John, but I think that sort of mid-session interval sort of came at the right time. You know, after the 8 frames, particularly for Ronnie. He was getting a little bit annoyed with himself. He banged the table, and he would have been very disappointed to lose that last frame and only finish the session all square instead of having a 2-frame lead. There was an excellent pot from Shaun Murphy.
One.
And that is extremely unlucky. What a pot that was, right into the heart of the pocket. But I think the cue ball has sneaked past the green. He can't have the yellow. All he can do is tuck him up.
Shaun Murphy, 1.
Yeah, I agree with you, Ken. I think he's just getting a little bit edgy to win that last frame. Ronnie, doesn't matter how much experience you've got and how many times you've won tournaments, it's just human nature that you want to try and take a 5-3 lead in instead of 4 each. And well, he played a double in the last frame in the afternoon and took it. He was taking a chance, but he just forced it a bit, but it went in. But ultimately couldn't win the frame in one visit, and yeah, he didn't look too pleased with himself when he left the auditorium.
Touching ball, so Shaun can just play away from the red up into ball, trying to cover the pack with the green. Hasn't done so. Just be careful. Ronnie's got to be a little bit careful here. Just doesn't knock a red towards his bottom left-hand corner pocket.
Just wondering whether that yellow is quite a nice target down there. If he can get him behind it, that's his intention. He's getting close.
Beautiful shot and pace as well. Just puts that little bit of pressure on these safety shots. And the difference, the difference being close to the cushion, John, and just being a little bit short of it. It's such a big difference in cueing.
Tell you what, it was a big shot to take on though, Ken, wasn't it? Because it didn't look like there was a natural gap, even if he'd have potted it to get round there. So it had to go in. So first good chance to Ronnie OSullivan this evening.
Yeah, and I'm sure after this blue, it'll be red and get that black back on its spot as soon as possible.
Six.
A little shake of the head tells me that this red is a bit straight. Wanted a little angle where he could have just stunned it in and get behind the black and pot it into the middle pocket. He couldn't do that from that angle.
7. 12.
Yeah, come a little in the middle of everything there, really. The red that's at the back of the pack, he can't really stun up. I think he might flick off the red at the bottom of the bunch. So he's just looking there to see if he could drop it in and come on the pink left-handed, which of course he's brilliant at. So that's what he's going to play.
13.
I think pink will go onto the black spot then. The spot might be occupied, so that'll help.
Yeah, pink spot's covered, so goes on the highest available. Nice angle after potting this red now for the pink. And be straight
20.
into the reds, just above the pink. Play a nice little cannon here. Yeah, didn't have to hit that hard. Just played a wonderful little soft cannon there, and it's just opened up 3 or 4 reds there.
A lovely touch, wasn't it? That cannon's that one. Frees 2 or
26.
3 more balls, so beautiful touch.
27.
Just run slightly too far with that one. I'd like to have played the pink and screwed out for the reds into the same pocket, so might have to play another cannon now. Which is alright.
Yeah, got enough bottom on the cue ball just to hold it off those 2 reds. He's held it nicely.
33.
Played that nicely. I'm sure the bottom red of the 5 will pot into the same pocket he's just potted that red, so he doesn't have to disturb any reds here. Well, decided with the angle to try and bring everything into play. Could have been nicer.
40. Touching ball.
Yeah, he's playing away here, so the touching ball isn't a problem. It's just tricky little red.
31.
These are absolutely lovely. Well, this is a great contribution already from Ronnie. Settled down really well. Took him a while to totally get the cue ball in this break, but he's got it now. And you'd be very surprised if there isn't the first frame gone this evening.
47.
Yeah, 2 lovely little shots into both middle pockets there, just holding the cue ball. And that's all about
48.
touch and feel. This man has it in abundance. Good start for Ronnie. This just exactly what he needed.
54. 55.
Yeah, well, this lovely break, of course, all from Shaun's opening attempt at a red here, which was certainly very attacking. Couldn't really see a natural gap through, but he missed it by
61.
a mile. And you have to sit and suffer. Certainly against this man.
62. He
had such a fast start to from the very first frame. 10-minute frame, 11-minute frame is the second. Just over 10 minutes for the next, and the longest frame of the first 8 was 24 minutes.
75.
I'm just coming up to 10 minutes for this frame, and well, will Shaun come back?
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
He says no,
75.
and a 75 break for Ronnie O'Sullivan. puts him back into the lead and takes this opening frame. He leads Shaun Murphy again by 1. It's 5 frames to 4.
And we have two gentlemen with us in the studio tonight who are slightly nervous because their records are under threat, as they have been for quite some time. If you take a look at the Triple Crown graphic here, this will tell you how many majors in snooker have been won by these guys. Stephen Hendry currently with 18 after a myriad number of UK Masters and World titles. Ronnie, 1 behind in the chase, and of course Steve Davis, his record in this championship of 6 could be equalled tonight. Ronnie has often protested this week that it's not records that's driving him on, but how important in terms of a legacy and a life and a career are these records, as far as you're concerned, Stephen?
Yeah, you go through your career, and like obviously Steve was the benchmark for me, and you go through your career, you have targets. I had targets, and I never hid the fact that I wanted to beat Steve's records. You know, Ronnie can say all he likes about he doesn't care and everything. When he gets in that table, does he look like he doesn't care? I don't think so. He wants to win, and you know, perhaps when he loses, he doesn't. You know, he's got other things in his life, but he's a winner. He's a sportsman, and there's no doubt in my mind that he knows how many he's got. He knows how many he needs to get.
To break.
Okay, the natural evolution of things in sport, as in life, things move on, but is Ronnie going to make it to the 18th major title tonight?
Well, if he keeps hitting it like he did in the first frame this evening, there's a very good chance of that happening. That was a lovely break of 75, effortless, wonderful cue ball control. These occasions when he's out there and he's focused and he's playing well, that's where he's at his best, out in the arena in front of a big crowd. Loves nothing more than competing.
Yeah. Better safety from Shaun.
I bet you breathed a sigh of relief when he got the gap.
This bottom red does cut, but very difficult. Concentrating more on the cue ball and making sure of a good safety, but he hasn't got it close to that ball cushion, and again, no prize for guessing what Shaun's going to do here.
Yeah, and this is tell us something, Mona, because he's had a couple of goes tonight. First one went in, the last one he missed. Big shot considering you've just gone a frame behind. That's as far as he's missed one all week.
Came right across that, and that's worrying.
Quite a nice target, that yellow and brown. Brown being knocked off its spot towards the yellow. It's pretty good if you can get the right contact off the side of the pack.
I'll just put a line up there. As you said, it's a pretty good target, John, and he's played it very, very well indeed. No, he's still back. It is taking gap. Maybe mind the gap.
Yeah, he can get through there. Might just have to swerve it a little bit to hit the red he wants. A little bit unlucky there, Shaun. That was a good shot he played. And Ronnie deliberately playing down that side of the table off it because the pink is blocking the edge of the reds, so he can't go down one side of the table. Looks like another long pot attempt. And that one didn't miss the pocket. Great shot. Once again, a little bit unlucky there. Could have had a nicer kiss than that.
Yeah, if you see that red go in just for that full ball kiss on the pink, he would have been nicely on the blue. Oh, that's tremendous. Tremendous shot. Actually got into the cue ball too much. Wanted to be on the bottom of the two reds, just to the right of the black spot.
Some cue in that, wasn't it? I mean, he's got some work on the cue ball to actually pot that and screw right back to where he is. Not too many players will be playing that shot on the circuit. Just looks like a safety now.
Best. Okay, he's got the cue ball close to this ball cushion, but he has left the red just below the pink spot. Straightforward, this one.
Yeah, he played the wrong red there, didn't he? Two reds to the right of the pink spot. If he plays off that thin, goes down in between green and blue, he certainly cuts off one side of the pack. So he's not only not done that, he's left a shot to nothing here.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's not on the brown or yellow, but there's no prizes for guessing what Shaun Murphy's next shot's going to be.
Ronnie O'Sullivan 1.
Yeah, I'm afraid he left himself open for that one, Shaun. It was a great pop by Ronnie, but as a little game of chess went there, he sort of played the wrong piece and made the wrong move.
Well, there is a possible shot here. But he's got to be so precise. He's got to get the cue ball off one side cushion between red and blue onto the next side cushion. Try and land on this red behind the black spot.
Foul and a miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4.
Just needs to square it up a little bit off the first cushion. Now, has he left one of these reds? If he's left the red on, there's no point in Ronnie putting him back in. Yeah, the red was on, and he could use the other red.
One.
Yeah, I'm afraid he's been outthought, or he's outthought himself there, Shaun Murphy, in that little exchange, just by playing off the wrong red. Yes, he's been severely punished by Ronnie knocking it in, but it was the chance that he had. And at the level you're playing at, it's those little things now and again that can cost you frames.
4.
He's just trying to work out his plan of attack here. It's not straightforward, all those reds on the one side of the table. Obviously pink's off its spot. And he's just got to try and negotiate somewhere he can get and just get that black straight onto his spot as quickly as possible. He usually sorts it out.
Yeah, that's his only concern here. Get on the red, get the black on its spot, and try and win the frame, because won't be able to win it from playing on the ball colours of the blue. Oh, this is too hard. He needs a bit of luck here. He was being extremely fortunate there.
9.
And if he can play a little screw here in behind the pink, well, he screwed off the red instead. Couldn't do that shot.
10.
I was on a bounce. I thought if he could have played a little screw and dropped the pink in the middle. Not easy, I know, but he'd have had two reds on the right-hand side, which he could have played off one and he'd been on the black. So it obviously wasn't on because he'd have played it. Doesn't miss a trick.
Good blue.
15.
Need good cueing for this red and try and screw back up for the blue or pink here. Oh, that's brilliant. Great shot.
16.
Well, he's keeping it going. It's hard work at the moment for him. Just really awkward chance. He's going to try and drop this in and just hold it. Ooh, just about, because he was trying to hold the cue ball there. Certainly used the jaw.
21.
Yep, just went in off the right-hand side. Well, this is just an incredible break at the moment because he just keeps knocking balls in, trying to keep it going.
Well, that was an amazing shot there. To get into the white. He's got blue or pink here. Pink is quite tricky, but it would certainly be nicely on the red into the same pocket. We can pot the blue in and out ball. He's looking at the red that's close to the pink. In fact, both reds pot.
27. Ronnie OSullivan, 27.
Wow. After all the difficult pots he's potted, he's missed a pretty straight one. Now what can Shaun do here?
One.
He's got a couple of reds he can play on, but he'd love to have had that cue ball a little higher. It's just to pot the blue and come down closer to the next red. So he's held the spot. So blue will go up onto the black spot. Good thinking.
6. Seven. Tap.
Very good. And of course now pop the blue, get high on the red to the right of the cue ball there, and then he can play onto the black. That was very good thinking from Shaun there, holding that spot.
12.
I'm just wondering, can he play a little cannon when potting this red? If he can cannon the red just to the left of the black off the cushion, stay on the black.
13.
No, obviously didn't have the angle, but that would have been handy. He's still in good position here.
Yeah, just try to promote that red a little closer to the pocket, make it a bit easier.
20.
He knew he had the option of the red. It's closest to the black spot as well. It's available.
$21.
excellent shot.
28.
Points all level. 4 reds, 4 blacks would do it. Or 3 blacks and a blue.
Yeah, he's just checking the score.
29.
You're quite right, he's just got to get rid of all these 4 reds. And so far, he's negotiated these really well. But this chance will be annoying Ronnie, because he did so much of the hard work to get the balls in better position. Then he misses the one you wouldn't expect. There it is. And in some ways, he's sort of half tidied the table up for Shaun to come in, even though he's taken these very well.
He doesn't want to finish low on this black, imperative that he leaves himself a nice angle. That's a good shot.
37.
Yeah, it's interesting. If he's got an angle, he could play on the one on the right hand side cushion now if he wanted. He doesn't have to. He decided to take that one. Sometimes when you're in those situations, you just get the perfect angle the first time. So you could play the red the other way.
44.
So it's plain ball.
45.
Virtually dead weight, so the cue ball lands tight to the side cushion.
This has been an excellent break so far. Just one red. And black or blue will do it.
52.
Yeah, this is the important shot of the frame.
Excellent.
53.
And this is another frame that will hurt Ronnie. He's lost a couple of frames already in this final that he should have won, and they may be the difference when it gets down to the latter stages of this match. That remains to be seen, but as you said, Johnny, did all the hard work in this frame just to miss that straightforward red. In goes the black.
Yeah, the feature of this final can, we've been saying all week that Shaun's
60.
been getting 30, 40 and 50 breaks and throwing lifelines to his opponent, but today it's been the opposite. He's had a few chances from Ronnie and he's been well up to the task. This has been a superb break.
62.
Yes, concentration has been spot on.
$65.
Had some great finals in the UK Championships over the years, and this is already proven to be another
69.
one. Not much between both players here.
74.
You miss the ball, and you're going to sit in the chair.
$80. 80 in the frame, Shaun
Well,
Murphy.
Shaun not too bothered about the black, and what a wonderful response that was. Ronnie O'Sullivan was in first, looked like he was going to take the frame, but it's Shaun Murphy with a break of 80, and we're all square again. It's 5-all.
Yeah, Ronnie was 2-1 and 4-2 and 5-4 up, but he's not shaking off this fella tonight, is he?
No, I think Shaun Murphy's a different proposition to any of the players he's played in this event so far. And with that confidence from the champion of champions, I think Shaun Murphy fancies the job.
Do you sense that there's an element of avenging that defeat for Ronnie tonight? Because that one hurt him.
Very much so. From what I've seen, I mean, there's been times obviously Ronnie made a century today, but the two players, Ronnie doesn't look as clinical when he's in the balls today for me. I don't know whether he's really trying too hard to beat Shaun. I don't know, but it seems to be Shaun's the one that comes to the table and is more clinical in his positional play. Ronnie, we've seen a couple of breaks there, and you know he's just smashing balls into pockets. You know, balls are going everywhere. That's not normally Ronnie O'Sullivan's way.
But we've seen tonight that Shaun is in stroke to be able to punish any mistakes that Ronnie's making out there, and that will be obviously very, very much in his mind here.
Yeah, I think it's all to play for. I can't see actually the way it's going, the pattern of the game that I don't think it's ever going to change. I think it's going to be all the way to the end.
Let's hope so.
Thank you. The 11th
Final frame decider
Ronnie
will be
O'Sullivan to
a
break.
cracking Sunday night final.
Yep. What is sure is that both players are playing some really good stuff. Hugely impressed with Murphy in that last frame. Wonderful break. He's looked confident all week. Fairness to him. Some of the earlier rounds didn't have to be quite as clinical. Got away with a few mistakes that he made, but whilst you're still in, you can win, and he's improved in every round. He certainly did in the semi-final. Concentration was much better. It's been really good today. When he's at his peak, he is a handful, as Ronnie's finding out.
Yeah, it was an excellent aggressive safety shot there from Shaun. He's put Ronnie in a difficult position here. These two reds have made it awkward to bring the cue ball down the left-hand side of the table. Oh, that's a cracking shot. Yeah. That was absolutely brilliant. There wasn't much margin for error there. Fantastic shot. No margin for error there whatsoever behind that red, just below the black. Played it to perfection. Just have a look at this. Just had to miss that red. And back up towards the bulk. Fantastic.
Yeah, Shaun can see the red on the right-hand side past the yellow, but the problem with that going up and down is just got to make sure it doesn't get a cannon with the red that's below it. Ordinarily, he's looking at it now. That's the shot you'd be playing straight away. He's just got to make sure you get the right contact with that. It's a little bit thicker than the shot you'd be playing normally. You don't want to get the cannon on the other red. That's why he's deliberating. Yeah, over a minute of thinking time. Don't blame him. Missing this company, he can be sitting down for a while. Well, whatever shot he was going to play, he needed to play it a little better than that, just catching the jaw. Had a fair margin for error, really, Ken, didn't he?
He certainly did. This could have been a lot easier for Ronnie. He's unmissable. He's played it well. Never easy. Going into a blind pocket. Just cued it beautifully.
Well, if he's on that red to the left of the pack on its own, which he is, that is a lovely little shot he's played there. Got it right in the gap, and now much chance to make a better break than it would have been if he hadn't been on it. That was a really good link shot he played. Should be okay just to drop this red in. And all of a sudden, in a couple of shots,
12.
from looking unpromising, he's got the black out in the open. Superb.
13.
saw from the previous camera angle that the
21.
bottom red of that bunch does pot, so. Well, I decided to go into him, always knowing that he'll be always on this red on the right hand side.
Yeah, clever shot, Ken. Didn't screw this one, just stunned up and left forward momentum on the cue ball as opposed to bringing it back. Knew that he'd have this red on the right hand side, so lovely little shot that was. Opened a few balls out with the cannon and was guaranteeing himself a positional shot. There's been an absolutely wonderful little break so far.
There's another lovely little shot, wasn't it? Didn't have to play that with pace, just judge the cannon on that.
36.
Knowing full well he was on the red into this left-hand corner pocket.
37.
Yeah, Stephen was in the studio before saying he didn't think Ronnie's break building was up to as much today. Well, it is here. This has been wonderful. Lovely touch. So many clever little shots, and I'm going to go right back to the green. The green was perfectly
44.
played.
.45.
Yeah, just a beautiful weight on this cue ball. Just have a look at this pinpoint accuracy.
.52. 53.
I just like the safety shot he played, John. You know, to set this up, Shaun had Ronnie in a lot of trouble.
60.
He played a wonderful safety shot to get out of it and put
61.
Shaun back in a lot of trouble, and he couldn't get out of it. And because of that, these are the fruits of his labour. Absolutely brilliant. Such knowledge.
Yeah, he's in proper stroke in this break. He's hit these
68.
absolutely lovely. There's been an economy of effort in this break. Hardly touched the cue ball. It's just been on a string.
69.
And as ever, when you look at a break that Ronnie makes, it looks so simple. You think, I'll go down the club and do that myself. And we all know it's much more difficult than that. It really has been
76.
wonderful. And he's up for a fight, that's for sure. He's
77.
enjoying every minute of this.
And the high break, I think, is 142 by Michael White. I wonder, is he watching tonight? Could possibly go if he takes blacks with all these reds.
84.
He's not interested.
85.
I mean, how easy and how fluent and how deft a touch as he had in this break. The cue ball's hardly moved.
91. 92. .98.
Neil Robertson has
99.
made 8 centuries. Ronnie has made 8 centuries. This will be number 9 and the 98 of this year's UK Championship. Absolutely fantastic. Absolutely brilliant.
104.
Well, he won't be bothered about the red, but a sublime century break from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He goes back into the lead once more in this match. It's now Ronnie O'Sullivan 6, Shaun Murphy 5.
Yeah, it is the third century break of the final. 2 for Ronnie and 1 for Shaun so far. And, you know, he does like to prove you wrong occasionally, Stephen,
Shocking
doesn't
break,
he?
wasn't it? Absolutely. The cue ball was on a lasso. It was just all over the place. Yeah, I mean, it's obviously the balls dictate sometimes, but yeah, he's made me look a little bit stupid there. The couple of the frame before, obviously, that he was having to hit balls. The balls were going everywhere. That was just a lesson in cue ball control
And
for anybody.
He seems to have really recovered his focus beautifully there.
Yeah, at the end of the last session this afternoon, he seemed like he was just sort of pushing everything to try and get that frame under the wraps, and come out today, tonight a different player. If he keeps on putting his nose in front, he's asking bigger questions of Shaun Murphy all the time. There's still plenty of time left in this match. It's a race to 10, so 6 is nowhere near the finishing line. But Shaun Murphy will be running out of time if he's always playing catch-up.
Indeed, yes. And 6 frames on the board now, 6-5 to Ronnie O'Sullivan. This is the last before their interval. And the longer this goes on, the more enjoyable it becomes for everybody watching at home and, of course, in the Barbican Centre here. And is this an occasion where, when it is close and when you're out there in the thick of it, it is an enjoyable experience for players of your stature?
Shaun Murphy to break.
I don't know if you actually... It's hard to say whether you actually enjoy while you're in it. Yeah, I mean, this is what you're a snooker player for occasions like this. These are the kind of things that I miss.
I do think you sort of become, over the years of playing this game, a bit of an adrenaline junkie. So this is why you play it, because all your senses will be heightened when you're out there.
Well, adrenaline's certainly flowing out there for these guys.
Well, no joy there for Ronnie with the long pot, but it's all right. Red that he's missed has gone safe. Cue ball's gone stuck on the green, so it's only a safety shot. And I agree with Steve there. Good point that he made about you keep asking the question when you go one ahead all the time. It's putting more and more pressure, certainly as you get nearer to the winning post.
Yeah, but in fairness, John, I think Shaun has been coming up with all the questions, the answers to the questions that he's been asked. It's been to and fro so nicely this match. It really is enthralling, engrossing, I'm sure, for both the players as well as the audience.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying is it'd be nice for him to get his nose in from somewhere through the match and put the pressure on Ronnie to win the next frame. Such an incredibly high standard. Up in the 90s, way up in the 90s for the pot success. Safety's not bad either. It's been an excellent final, really has so far. So a bit short with the cue ball, but at least he didn't knock a red towards the corner.
Nice target up behind the green here and the ball cushion. Wants to avoid that brown if he can. Anytime Shaun can get his hand on the table and there's a red that's potable, he generally takes it on.
I think as with this one, where's the colour coming from? He's hit that so well. I mean, the middle pocket's there, we know that, but to hit that good and go in there, a little bit unlucky. Wonderful strike again.
Safety from Ronnie O'Sullivan. The safety so far tonight has been spot on.
Yep, and this is trouble. Don't know whether he can get past the brown on the right hand side. But he can't even if he can see that red, he can't play the dump shot and leave the cue ball up here because there's a red on the left little pot. Yep, he's in all sorts here. He might be taking a while to think of this one.
I've just put a line up there. I'm not quite sure whether he can get that line. He's having a look at this shot. Well, it's very difficult.
Might be the only thing he's got. And it was. It could have come out worse.
He's had a bit of a result there. Anywhere off that cushion. There was a chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan, but cueing is so difficult.
Thing is as well, Ken, he knocked 2 reds up in the baulk area, which is even worse because Ronnie plays safe onto one of them. Still got the other one there. So he's decided that's all he can do is drop onto that. Yeah, he certainly had a result there, Shaun. Because of the yellow and brown, he can't really play that shot where you hit the stun, you stun the first red into the second one and send them both up the table. He can't really play that. He's having a look. If yellow and brown went there, you could play that shot, stun it firm, and both reds would end up at the table. You've got to be careful you don't catch the ball colour. Yeah, there you go. It's still all right. But there was no way both reds were going to get down the table.
Yeah, but he's left a straightforward shot here for Ronnie O'Sullivan. He can, well, a couple of shots. He can leave the cue ball behind the yellow or try and get that cue ball tight behind the green here and knock the red back up towards the bunch. He hasn't played that too well. Has he left this red? He may have.
Ooh, that's tight. It's going very close to the blue, this cue ball. Very close. Which is why he's looking at maybe swerving it. Last couple of shots, Shaun's been in a fair bit of bother.
Well, it's rolling off. Is it going to go in the pocket? If it does, he's going to leave him a shot.
Foul. A miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan 4. Back.
Phew. Because if that had gone in, that'd have been big trouble. See, coming down the table, gets about 2/3 down the way and then indicates right for Shaun. And this is a real problem now to get this back in exactly the right place that it was before. Suppose it's all right if he's going to play the same shot, Ken.
Yeah, but
No,
the likelihood at that pace, cue ball
Ronnie?
could tend to roll off. Unless he plays the red on the way down and try and play the dumb shot.
Yeah. I suppose you play this now. Do you allow a little bit for it rolling that way the next time?
He's going to play the dumb shot here. As long as he doesn't get the double kiss. That's the problem. That was always the problem. Not sure what Ronnie can hold for the pink here into the left centre. If not, he'll go up for the blue. He could just about hold.
1.
Red left of the pink spot will pot when the pink goes back on its spot, and that will clear the pink a little bit.
Yeah, it's not a bad chance, this, is it? 2 or 3 shots. These could be very nice. I think I might have been tempted if I'd have been Shaun to play the same shot again, Ken. To that he played before. I know it rolled a little bit, but anyway, it was awkward.
This is just a perfect situation here for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Just a series of soft little screws and stones around the pink spot. We saw how good his touch and
14.
was in the last frame. Doesn't have too much work to do with the cue ball here. Just stay around the pink.
15.
Yeah, it's like one of those practice routines you used to put up, didn't you, when you were learning to play the game, and you'd take the blue and black off the spots, take them off the table, and just put the pink on and throw a load of reds around, and teaches you to play position just on the one colour.
21. $22.
In fairness, it's never a bad ball. There's 4 pockets it can go in.
Just screwed that cue ball slightly.
28.
He's playing for a red into this bottom right hand corner pocket. He's still on the red, but can't hold for the pink this time.
It's funny when you just lose the cue ball, you can end up having 2 or 3 shots afterwards when you're scrapping to get it back. That's what's happened there. Played a lovely little screw shot around the angles, was run inside there, but he's come up a little bit short for the blue.
$34. $35.
He's almost as if he's hitting the ball too well at the moment. He's just getting so much work in it. Screwed back off the pink, a little bit too far, there. He's just hitting it so good. Even left-handed, he's hitting it too good.
40.
This is tricky. Stay on the black here. Oh, he's played it with a bit of pace.
41.
Back out for the pink. This is marvellous. Back in prime position now.
Yeah, and boy is he trying in this break, Ken. He's desperate to get a 2-frame lead going into the interval.
48.
From the minute Shaun made that mistake, there's been an inevitability about this break. You could see his focus, the way he struck it.
54.
Okay, had to go up and come round for the blue in the middle of the break, but negotiated that. And he's just hitting the ball like a dream now.
55. $61.
Just come up a little bit short. He thought he had a bit more on the cue ball there to come over and back.
They played the plant. Plenty of value in it. Lovely shot.
62.
Beautiful. I just knew when he came to the table, just the way the situation of the reds
69.
and the pink As you said, he just ran out of position once, but once he was back in, it was
70.
there was inevitability about it. Great break. It looked like for a small moment
76.
in this afternoon session he'd lost his focus, but he's firmly got it back tonight.
Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Well, Shaun
76.
says that's enough, and another break of 76 from Ronnie O'Sullivan. He goes into the mid-session lead by 7 frames to 5 now.
And how significant is that going to be, because he has been trying so hard? There's such a focus, such a determination about Ronnie O'Sullivan in the last couple of frames, really showing through now, Steve.
Yeah, he's regrouping very well, and from that disappointment at the end of the last session of play, I think he's got his mind back on the job perfectly. Good tactics and very fluent amongst the balls.
It's 25 years since Ronnie first played in the UK Championship. Came here in, what, 1992, won it the following year as a 17-year-old. And here he is, 24 years after that, on the verge, you think, of yet another title, a record equalling 6th. What does it say about this man's longevity? Because we were discussing how long into your own career, Stephen, you were winning titles. And in a 28-year professional career, the last of your majors was 20 years in. He's still doing it 24 and 25 years in.
Yeah, I think one of the big bonuses in Ronnie's life, he does a lot away from the table. He does a lot of different things. Whereas I think in my career, it was just snooker. You know, in terms of, you know, what I did career-wise. I mean, he's talking about doing the jungle and all, you know, all sorts. You know, he's writing books. He's doing all sorts. Where with me, it was just snooker. So in some ways, I didn't have anything to sort of career to get away from the snooker. So that, I would say that's. It must be a reason, you know, that he's lasted so long, and obviously this time he's taken years off and stuff. So,
what's your view on that, Steve? What accounts for his longevity?
Well, he's a great player. I mean, it does come into how good you are.
Yeah,
you know, how, if you can keep.
But to be right at the top of the game, even.
Well, if you're that good, you can sometimes withstand next generations coming along, and the likes of John Higgins, Mark Williams and Ronnie O'Sullivan have withstood the new breed of player coming through and still been able to produce the goods. Somewhere down the line, you get overtaken, swamped by another level of play. It does seem to be the case in sport, especially in something where you've got longevity, like, you know, you can play snooker or golf for a long period of time. But Ronnie O'Sullivan, we all say, is the biggest genius we've ever seen on the snooker table. So perhaps it's natural that he's going to last as long. And if you look back to the period of time in the 80s, the biggest genius, not Alex Higgins, he was 70s, biggest genius in the 80s, Jimmy White. He's lasted the longest of all of us.
Yes.
He's still playing it in the game.
Yeah, he is indeed. But it says something about his motivation levels. I mean, Ronnie protests that he's just trying to get along and enable him to do all the other things in his life that he wants to do this game. But clearly there must be a fire still burning in him as a competitor.
well, we're watching it now. I mean, watching it now. You know, as I say it again, you know, watching him play, and there's no way he doesn't care. He's there to win, and tonight he's just been, you know, his whole mindset, his safety has been absolutely on the button tonight. He's put Shaun in so much trouble.
Even though you know, you've got to practice. That's where you need to be fit for purpose. He's still the fittest of the players in the 40s.
Yes, he is, and still runs every day and joins running clubs wherever he goes now, and it's a way that he relaxes away from the studio. Ronnie O'Sullivan needs 3 more for a record-equalling 6th UK crown. What, if anything, can Shaun Murphy do in the closing stages of this year's final? Let's find out. Dennis Taylor, Stephen's on his way to join.
Thank you, Hazel. He's a fast mover. It won't take him long. And it's Ronnie spotted something on the white there. Paul Collier, referee,
Frame
has
30.
cleaned it, and we're ready
Ronnie
for
O'Sullivan
action
tonight.
again. Now the red's coming up this time as the green covered it. I think it has. There's still one to the right corner. There you can see that one's blocked off. Can Shaun Murphy knock in one of his specials?
One.
start for Shaun after the mid-session interval, and he could do with this opening frame here. If he drops 3 frames behind against Ronnie O'Sullivan, it'll be a tall order. They had a brilliant final in the Champion of Champions, Shaun winning 10-8. That could well be the score again, but for who? That's the question. Not quite enough room, I don't think. And it's a little bit of an awkward respotting of the pink here. There wasn't, looks to be enough room between the reds, but obviously not. So in a direct line behind the black and blue spot, and not touching the red. Well, not often you get a round of applause for respotting a ball, but it's developing into a good chance here, and just got to be careful with the cannon on the pink, but should be guaranteed position. Well, I say it should be guaranteed position. Is he on this one? That's amazing.
18.
That was a little lapse in concentration there, that cannon that he played. End of break.
Shaun Murphy, 18.
He just needed a full ball contact, and he was guaranteed to be on a couple of reds, and he just slid off the pink, and very disappointing that from Shaun's point of view. Stephen Hendry's just made it to the commentary box, a little bit out of breath.
Yeah, really looking forward to this final session. Can Ronnie O'Sullivan keep the hammer down?
Just before you come in, Stephen, you're on your way up. Shaun was in amongst them, and he played a very careless positional shot, playing a little cannon on the pink. You were on your way back to the commentary box. Have a look at this.
You could say possible a wee bit unlucky, but yeah. That's another careless safety shot. You have to say in the last couple of frames, Ronnie O'Sullivan has started to get on top in every department.
He hasn't missed many of those, that's for sure.
He doesn't need me to tell him that he cannot afford to throw up these chances. Playing that would drag, possibly got a touch of right-hand side. Just push the cue ball over to the left.
One. Cheers.
That was a strange one. I don't think he was expecting to screw off the cushion and in behind that red along the cushion.
Looks like this red up for brown. Be a bonus if we get through the gaps of the blue, but it doesn't look like it.
They're far from easy at the moment. He's got a little bit of work
13.
to do here to get a few more in play and a few shots time.
14. $21.
Well, that's his intention. He's looking at the black and he's now looking at the pink, so he can play for either colour to then disturb the reds.
22.
You won't be happy with that. Oh, okay, you can screw off the cushion for the loose red, but he wanted to go into the bunch while that red was there.
$29.
He just has to be careful. The three reds are in a line right above the black. If he hits that red full ball, he could stick on that and be on nothing.
They were never an easy pack to go into.
37.
Even with his terrific cue power, but this one might just go to the middle pocket. Bit easier now to play the cannon, not quite as awkward.
Worrying times
45.
for Shaun Murphy, it has to be said. This is the biggest lead either player's had. If Ronnie was to go in and win this frame, 3 frames. It's never easy when you're chasing leads against any player, but trying to chase down Ronnie O'Sullivan in a major final. Basically, you just can't afford to miss any more shots, Dennis. No unforced errors.
Well, he had a 76 in the frame before the mid-session interval and a century in the frame before that.
$49.
So
50.
One more good positional shot and the frame should be his, and the lead should be 3 frames. And it's not perfect.
54.
Glance round at the scoreboard, he's still well short. He's going to have to head up the table again. And they're a little awkward now, these 3 reds. He's looking at the possibility of a plant now. That would be a bonus because they're blocking each other into the right corner and the pinks stopping one from potting into the left corner. Yeah, the plant's there. And with them being close together, he's got to make sure he gets the correct contact
58.
on the first red, because could squeeze it slightly, so he must be spot on with this. That's another frame safe.
66.
Yeah, he's found a gear, hasn't he, Dennis? An extra gear just to pull away.
$67. $70. $71. $76.
This looks like it's
78.
going to be Ronnie O'Sullivan's 10th century in this year's Betway UK Championship.
81.
And if he does make the century, it will be 99 in this year's UK. That's
85.
going some.
$90. $96.
Absolutely brilliant from Ronnie O'Sullivan. For 5 frames all. Suddenly he's produced a 76 and 2 century breaks, and he now leads by 8 frames to 5, just 2 away.
And John now with us in the studio, and really the damage was done when Shaun Murphy left that red in the jaws of the pocket.
Yeah, and just after Ronnie'd missed one as well, which it hasn't been happening a lot this evening. So he's got this, he's just playing a slow little drag shot here, and he's just flicked a bit of side on. I'm just wondering whether that is the beginning of the end for him, because that really was a good chance to get into the frame.
Brilliantly taken, you've got to say, by O'Sullivan.
It's just
10th century.
It's world class.
It is indeed,
world class.
yeah. And do you agree with Stephen that worrying signs now for Shaun?
Yes, I think he's not been able to keep up with Ronnie like he did earlier, and the level of relentlessness that Ronnie O'Sullivan puts on his opponent is quite amazing, I think. And I think it's down to the ability he's got to make breaks and the fact that he's got the cue ball under control all the time. He makes more from situations than any other player, whether they're open amongst the balls, ones he should get. He never goes wrong in those departments. He never gets into a trap. When the balls are tricky, he finds it a challenge to try and make a break that no other player would be able to see his way through. He is the ultimate break building machine.
John, has Shaun's levels dropped, or have Ronnie's increased in this evening session, or is it partially a combination of both?
Absolutely, it's both. Ronnie's gone up 2 or 3 gears. Shaun's just slightly dipped, but we're being ultra critical where Shaun's concerned. It's just one shot here and there. It's just the level of opponent he's playing against. You just cannot make a mistake.
You can't, otherwise this fella will punish you. Ronnie coming to the table, needing 2 more frames for the win.
Shaun going to continue to attack. He literally cannot afford to miss any more pots in this final if he wants to win. Good start. Good start. Excellent shot.
It can be a silly game at times. We showed you the red he missed in the previous frame. The sitter playing with a little bit of drag, and then he gets down and knocks that beautiful long one in to give himself a chance here. Brilliant cueing. And there's one at the back that might be available because he's fairly straight on this black. Well, it obviously doesn't pot because he's playing this long red.
16.
To get back on the black, up into the yellow pocket. Good cueing.
17.
Yeah, and he's got a good angle in the black to screw through these reds.
$24. $25.
Red at the back of the bunch goes to the same pocket. We're looking for an angle 32. In the black again because they're a nice bunch to go into. Huge target if he gets level with the black. He's always got that red near the left middle for a bit of insurance. It's just over 33. No, it's okay. He's got a red to the left corner. Can follow through of 2 cushions.
And this is 5th black. And with that red over the middle pocket,
40.
When he goes into the bunch, that's a little bit of insurance. So,
41.
What a key shot coming up.
Top spin, touch your right hand side into those 2 reds above the black. Oh, I don't think he's on anything. Unless that red squeezes into the left middle.
48.
Well, it must be tight. No, it'll go, and there's a slight angle.
I can play the cue ball into an area here for a choice, either red into right corner or that red over the left middle. There you see all the reds that go to the right corner, but he's missed the black. Oh dear, Shaun. Look at what's left on.
49.
Was he possibly thinking about the 147 too much, Dennis?
Yeah, he definitely had that at the back of his mind there. You could tell the way he played the red in the middle pocket, but he very rarely misses with the rest. But how costly is that miss going to be?
One.
I would say one word, Dennis. Very.
Yeah, you may well be right, Stephen.
Okay, maybe 40 points behind, but
9.
was definitely a new favourite for this frame.
I think that one near the middle pocket on the right side of the tables, it's not
16.
that easy, really. He's got a long way to go before he gets to that. He's already had a little glance at that red, so that shows you how many shots ahead he's thinking.
Yeah, it's one of them shots. He doesn't want to play from distance, that red, but if he gets right behind it, he can just drop it in for the blue. But any distance, it'll be a very tough pot. He'll probably leave that red till last. Because obviously dropping onto the blue, easy to get up for the yellow.
24. $25.
He's just overscrewed that by a couple of
31.
inches. No problem.
32.
Yeah, in a few shots time, that circle there, he'd love to put the white in the middle of that.
$39.
Always took the opportunity to bring it into play, and that's just enough. It's much easier now. It was funny how he changed his plan there, Stephen, with being straight on that red. He took the opportunity to screw right back and just flick it out a touch.
45.
Yeah, that shows how he's always thinking, the snooker brain. He realised the angle he had in the red was perfect just
46.
to flick the red. He knew exactly how he was going to contact that red. He knew the angle he had. He recognised it and executed the shot perfectly. He's never looked in doubt, this clearance.
53. $54.
Wow, this is just perfect snooker that he's playing at the moment from 5-all.
Yeah, as I said earlier, he's going through the gears now.
$59. 61. $64.
He's done very little wrong, a couple of small errors, but that was all it took.
73. 79.
Well, you can't do much about this. This is just no miss snooker he's playing at the moment. And Ronnie O'Sullivan takes that frame. That's 4 in a row. And now he's just 1 frame away from a little bit of history. He leads Shaun Murphy by 9 frames to 5.
And in the blink of an eye, we were looking at a potential, I suppose, maximum break from Shaun Murphy, and it's completely changed around in one shot, John.
Yeah, and I don't blame him, and you know, at all for going for the maximum. What else? You know, he's played on position. What other shot is he going to play? He's very good with the rest. He's just, unfortunately, when he's taken that, he's just missed it. And it's the only thing you can say about it. He just missed, and there's an inevitability about it. You're sitting there, and I'm sitting there watching them. Well, they've gone, because you know somewhere through the break he's going to flick the red off the cushion, and of course it turned up. He did it. And the clearance is there. He is playing at the peak of his powers at the minute.
Was Shaun duty-bound almost to try and go for it, to keep it going?
Well, I think it was the right thing to do, because that was the way the balls were laid. You know, the 147's on, it's on. But he's up against a great of the game. And I would say that Ronnie O'Sullivan is, you know, I don't think he's a better person in the UK, a sports person in the UK, more skillful or better as a temperament or match play than Ronnie O'Sullivan. He's one of the best people we've ever produced in the UK.
It is an extraordinary clarity of focus that he seems to have achieved. The longer the match has gone on, the more dialed in he's become.
No, he's just totally focused. It's scary sitting in the other chair when he's playing as well as this, because you're just walking on eggshells. You don't know what you're going to do. You know, every time you make a mistake, the frame's over. You're trying to get to the ball cushion, you know if it doesn't go, he's going to knock them in. If you get in like Shaun did, you make a mistake and the ball's in the open, they're going to go. It is a scary proposition playing him when he's like this, because he is playing as good at the moment as he can play.
Well, he's a very philosophical person, Shaun Murphy. He'll know that he's up against it clearly, but if you're sitting in his position right now, what other option do you have rather than to go out and have a go now?
Yeah, I mean, you know, we've been in this position before. He doesn't have any pressure on him in the same way as he did at the start of the session, or when he was 1-0 behind. You know, you could expect him to play some decent stuff from here on in. But Ronnie O'Sullivan's very good at closing out matches.
The record books beckon once again for O'Sullivan.
Frame 15. Ronnie O'Sullivan to break.
Well, it's plain and simple. What Shaun Murphy has to do is do what he did in the semi-final against Ryan Day. He won 5 frames with 1 visit. And that's how many frames he needs here, 5 frames. Ronnie just needing the 1 for victory. That's an incredible stat there, 96% pot success rate. Shaun's at 93. And he's certainly opened the game up with that safety shot there.
Shaun's eyeing up this red to the left corner. Every shot could be his last now in this UK Championship final. This red does pot to left corner, but Controlling the cue ball is the issue.
All right, thank you.
He really is focusing on this one. He knows it's all about the cue ball as well as the pot. Oh, if he struck on the pink for the middle pocket,
One.
that is a big bonus. But maybe it doesn't go. Well, maybe it does go. And what a result he's had there, Stephen.
Well, when it's your night, it's your night. But normally, when you play this well, things do happen for you. This could be the beginning of the end. The way he's played the last 4 frames, I would expect the title to be won at this visit.
Yeah, we normally say the toughest frame to win is the one that gets you past the winning post, but that's not the case with the top of the tree players like Ronnie O'Sullivan, gentleman next to me, Stephen Hendry, Steve Davis in the studio. Never had a problem closing a match out.
15.
He just doesn't like any of these reds because he thinks he's going to have to play a cannon off both of them. And it's just awkward. It's not often Ronnie O'Sullivan takes this long over a pot. We've seen him in safety shots do a lot of thinking, but over an actual pot, this is very unusual for him.
Well, he thought for almost a minute, and in the end he played it left-handed and pushed the black on. That was a terrific shot. He knew he had to make certain of that. That's why he thought about it for so long. But I mean,
24.
76, 86 and 2 centuries in the last 4 frames. Incredible.
$31. $32.
If there's anyone in any sport displaying more genius at their sport than Ronnie O'Sullivan does at snooker, I've yet to see it. Best player I've ever seen.
Well, there always was the debate who was the greatest of all time.
37.
And I know you're sitting next to me, but I thought Ronnie just overtook you a couple of seasons ago, Stephen. That's my personal opinion. But he's still 2 world titles behind you.
38. $43. 44.
He's given his opponent a lesson tonight. Has to be said.
$51.
Cannon, if he needs to play a cannon, it goes right. I think it's all over.
Maybe it hasn't gone right, the cannon. It's finished rather awkward.
59.
Well, if he can't win it this visit, that will irritate him.
Ronnie OSullivan, 59.
Well, a terrific round of applause, but he's not quite there yet, but he's got one hand on the trophy, you'd have to say. And with Shaun 59 points behind and 3 reds up the other end of the table, that doesn't help his cause if he gets a chance. He's the ultimate professional, this man, and he'll appreciate the standard that Ronnie has produced here this evening, but he's not finished just yet. But one long pot up into the right corner pocket. This could be the winning shot. He's just looking to see what he would leave if he takes it on. Is it there? Of course it's there! What a final we've had here. It looked like it was going to go all the way both players were playing. The standard was unbelievable. He's just steadying himself. That's the one he wanted. That makes absolutely certain of the final. What a performance.
16.
I know he says
17.
he's not all that bothered about records, but make no mistake, he's put so much hard work and practice in for this year's UK Championship.
24. 25.
It's been a great championship. The crowds have been absolutely fantastic throughout
29.
the televised stages. And they've been treated to
30.
some wonderful snooker.
36.
This is a lovely feeling as well, just clearing the balls up when you've won a major championship.
Someone said yes, Ronald.
44.
Wow, have a look at that for a shot. 45. Even Shaun Murphy was smiling in his seat there.
49.
Shaun Murphy. From 5 frames all, he produced some real magic. And Ronnie O'Sullivan equals Steve Davis's 6th UK titles. And he is the 2017 Betway UK champion.
Congratulations to both of our players this evening, and let's have a quick word with Shaun. Shaun, our commiserations. Both of you came absolutely hearing out of the blocks this afternoon, and you provided the most incredible opening session. And when you came back from 2-4 behind to 4-all, what kind of hope and confidence levels did you bring into this evening?
Yeah, I was really looking forward to the game, and came into the whole match knowing that I'd have to be at my absolute best to beat Ronnie over the distance in a tournament that's so big. And unfortunately, I just wasn't good enough, you know, in the second session. I want to congratulate Ronnie on equaling the 6 titles by Steve Davis for this tournament. It's an absolutely phenomenal achievement. And, you know, it's not the end I wanted to the fortnight I've had. I've had a phenomenal 12 days here in York. The guys here have made it, the fans have made every moment just so special. You know, they've been great all week. And my friends and family who've been with me the whole time have made it really special. So, you know, not the ending I wanted, but I've had a great time here.
It's an 8th Triple Crown final, Shaun. It's your 4th final of the season. There's plenty more to come from you this term, I'm sure. Ladies and gentlemen, our runner-up, Shaun Murphy. Thank you, Shaun. Ronnie O'Sullivan, a record-equalling 6th UK crown, a record-equalling 18th major title. Both must sound very good to you tonight.
Yeah, you know, I just want to say well done to Shaun. You know, he's had a great tournament. He's been playing fantastic all season. You know, we had a great final in Coventry. So, you know, I just want to say well done to Shaun. But you know, the records are great. You know, to equal it. And like Shaun said, you know, the fans this week have just been unbelievable, you know. So I just want to say a massive thank you to them, and you know, just tried my best all week just to, you know, there's nothing left, you know. I mean, I give everything there is, you know. But you know, I'm over the moon, you know, to win any tournament, let alone, you know, the UK Championship. So happy, yeah.
We talked about how Shaun contested so brilliantly this afternoon. It was a wonderful first session. But how pleased were you with the way you went through the gears from 5-all to 10-5 today?
Yeah, I mean, I think we both can play better. You know, Shaun missed a few easy balls, you know, a little bit of bad luck as well, and you know, and that's all it takes sometimes. You know, just to, you know, if the other guy gets a bit of momentum, the modern game, you know, a lot of players can win 4, 5, 6 frames on the bounce. So, you know, that's just how snooker is these days. You know, it's a tough school.
You know, 24 years ago, this gentleman came to the UK Championship at the age of 17 and won this one. And 24 years, you're still winning. Ronnie, when you look back, what does the Ronnie of now think of the Ronnie of then in terms of how you play the game?
I don't know. I don't think I'm much different, really. I've just sort of like, you know, I've just tried to enjoy the game. I try to express myself. I try to attack the game and, you know, play the game how I think it should be played. And, you know, and when you get a few battle scars, you learn that maybe you can't attack as much all the time. So, you know, I just love playing. I love competing, and I just can't believe I'm still playing at 42. You know, all these grey hairs and all that. You know, what's going on? I'm old enough to be most people's dads on the tour.
Well, you're still playing, and he's still winning. Your champion once again for a 6th time, Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome your presentation party, Steve Dawson, Chief Exec of World Snooker, and Alan Alger, Head of PR at Betway. The runner-up receiving a silver medal and a cheque for £75,000. What a great ambassador for snooker, Shaun Murphy. The winner, receiving a cheque for 170 big ones, the trophy and the title 2017 Betway UK champion, Ronnie OSullivan. Your champion, Ronnie OSullivan.
So Ronnie OSullivan claims 2 of the 3 majors in snooker in 2017. He's smashed the 900 century mark this season. He's claimed a record equaling 18th major title. He is one of the greatest personalities, not just in this game, but in any game. And once again, Steve Davis and John Parrott, he has underlined that.
He was absolutely magnificent tonight. From 5-all to 10-5 was as close to perfection on the snooker table as you are likely to see. I think he missed 1 ball. He lost 1 positional shot in the 5 frames that he played. And Shaun Murphy just ran into a genius of a juggernaut tonight.
Steve, you are now the co-owner of the UK record with 6 titles.
I'm delighted to be in the company of Ronnie OSullivan in that department, but I think Ronnie OSullivan has pushed the bar up even higher than any of the levels before it. He is, on his day, not just the most peculiar and the most amazing player we've ever seen, but I think he's also one of the greatest winning machines we've ever had. And I agree with you, one of the greatest sporting personalities this country has ever produced.
Well, Ronnie, at the age of 42, is still winning major titles. We've talked about majors in this sport, but that obviously brings him level with Stephen Hendry. Jack Nicklaus on 18, and you're looking down at the likes of Pete Sampras and Rafa Nadal and yourself on 15. And so it goes on, and there's a direct correlation and comparison between the individual sports like this and golf and tennis, surely.
Yeah, absolutely there is. I mean, amazing to think. Who'd have thought when he was 17, when his event for the first time, here he would be all those years later still doing it. And there's been players, Hazel, who've come along, they've had careers, they've finished, they've all gone, they're off the circuit now. He's still here, and everyone who turns up who thinks they've got a game of snooker to play, he's a match for anybody who's turned up and played, and he's still the best.
How much longer, how many more majors can he win, Steve?
Well, when you see him in this form, he's not going to go off the boil soon. I think he's got like 2 or 3 more years. As long as he's focused, he's going to be there or there fighting. I think 1,000 centuries is nailed on, and I think somewhere down the line, perhaps even another world championship. There's a lot of great players in the game who have their say, but Ronnie OSullivan, in good form, not just in best form, in good form, can still win events. It's astonishing how well he plays.
Yeah, well, Roger Federer is on 19 major titles, and of course Ronnie heads to the Masters next month with a very good chance of equalling that.
Yeah, and that tournament's just absolutely made for him. He loves it. He's in his hometown. He turns up, plays his match, go home, has a sleep in his own bed, comes back, wins his next match, and he usually ends up winning the trophy, lifting it in the air. He's won it. How many times he won that one? 7 times?
He's won it 7 there. That's a record
times.
too.
Well, listen, there's a very good chance it'll be 8.
Now, let's be honest. Do you think that he is going to go for this 7 world titles? I mean, Stephen's there, but this is the biggest ask of them all, surely, in terms of world titles. He's got another 2 to match that.
Well, it is, and that's tough because it's only one tournament of the year. You can try and focus and identify on tours. It doesn't necessarily work out that way. All you can do is get himself in the right frame of mind to turn up for the tournament and see how it goes. You know, you'd say if he could win 2 out of the next 4 years, that's a fantastic achievement with all of the great players, including Mark Selby, around. So it's going to be difficult for him.
And very briefly, a word on Shaun Murphy, because this is an exceptional season for him. Surely there's more to come from the magician.
There is absolutely more to him. Listen, he can look back at that match and just say, what could I do? Because honestly, he missed 1 or 2 balls, but the standard he was playing against tonight was nearly impossible to beat. He played really well this week.
He did indeed. All right, well, we talk about the Masters, and that's where we'll be heading in the new year, because Ronnie will be defending the title that he won in great style last January. He beat Joe Perry there, and he will be defending that title when the Masters gets underway from Sunday the 14th of January, and that will be live on the BBC. And don't forget that the tickets for next year's UK Championship go on sale tomorrow. Get them fast, they go very fast. In the meantime, have a fantastic Christmas. We'll see you in the new year, and thanks for being with us. Bye for now.